To achieve best results from a financial education initiative and to position your program for growth, measurement, data gathering, and reporting are vital. By taking measurements and reporting on the results, you're better able to prove the impact of your program. This highlights your competencies as a qualified provider of financial education programming and can open up opportunities. Since most financial education programs don't conduct measures or report results, by doing this, you'll make your program stand out. In fact, of the thousands of people we talk to with existing financial literacy programs each year, very few ever take the proper measurements. In fact, I would conservatively estimate less than 5% take measurements that are needed. An even smaller amount report on the results. This lack of measurements is not good for the industry, and it negatively impacts the perception people have of the program. They're unable to prove their program impact. This hurts the leader's credibility and the ability for the program to grow. In this training, we'll cover the exact details on how to report on your program's outcomes. We'll talk about what information to gather, how to collect data, and how to put together a case study report. Let's start by giving you an overview of what a case study report is and what you would include in there. I'll cover this more in detail later, but just so you have a general understanding to start. What a case study report is, it provides people details of your program, including pre and post test results, survey results, feedback from the audience, learner outcomes, and other details of the program. Essentially, it would give somebody viewing your report a good overview into what the program was, who you served, and your outcomes. There are many benefits to doing your case study report. I'm going to walk you through a few of the top ones right here. Number one, we have credibility. You want to prove your program's impact, and you can easily do that by showing your case study report. It shows empirically that your program works. This should also be a cornerstone of your brand, meaning you have proven program results and you're a professional provider of this programming. This is an essential cornerstone of your brand, and it will help your program grow. This is also critical for you as the educator to get feedback and improve the programming. For instance, when I go out and do programs, I typically get 20, 30, 40% improvement on the pre and post test scores across the board. Sometimes I'll see where 0% improvement on some of these test questions. What that's telling me as an educator, I forgot something, maybe I didn't cover it as well as I should, maybe it wasn't in the material, or maybe the test question was wrong. So it will help me improve the program as an educator. For those of you seeking funding, completing your case study is a critical aspect you need to handle to be open and eligible for more opportunities. These people that are hiring you or that are funding your program want to see that you're a competent provider. When we provide these case studies, the great thing is we don't have to sell ourselves. We're showing people what we're able to accomplish and able to walk them through these case studies, and just by doing so, they can see your professionalism and see your outcomes as an educator. This is great whether you're going for sponsorships, grants, having organizations hire you, or having people pay to attend your event. It will help when you have case studies and proven results. This is also great for promotional opportunities like putting it on your website and promoting it to local media. But the most important thing I see with these case studies is the sense of accomplishment and confidence that increases in somebody. The next meeting you go into with a 15, 20 page nicely designed case study report, it gives you added confidence. In addition, you feel added sense of accomplishment because after we leave a program, we often feel good. People say, thank you, I learned a lot, but this actually proves that we made a real impact in their life. We're looking at the data and it's telling us empirically, hey, we made a difference and here's what we helped them improve in their own lives. So who should compile case study reports? I say anybody out there that wants to prove their program impact. Even if you're doing a short program, I know we work with a lot of financial advisors, financial service professionals, and you may be just doing a 60, 90-minute presentation. Well, you may not come in with that 15, 20-page case study report, but you can come in with an 8-page case study report, of which 6, 7 of the pages are exact duplicates you never have to change, and you're just changing that title page and the survey and data and the testing information. So it's very easy. It's a great marketing piece to leave behind. And again, it showcases your abilities as that professional provider of programming. So what's in a case study report? I'm going to cover this area very briefly. The reason I'm not going to get into too much detail is we provide you a complete case study that's fill in the blank. It's a template you can use. All you need to do is fill in the blanks. You can adjust the photos and any of the content in there. Once again, this is provided in Word, PDF, and InDesign format, so it's easy to edit. The first thing we include, and one of the most important, is learner measurements. This is a critical aspect because, again, we're proving what we've been able to accomplish with the people in attendance. Did it help them improve their financial capabilities? Is it helping them work toward a greater financial strength? And so we spend a lot of time gathering these measurements. Some of the measures that are critical are things like content knowledge. This is important. We measure that through pre and post testing. We also measure psychological elements like financial sentiment, their willingness to adopt, and also financial behavior measures. One of the most important things we measure is outcome goals. Things like, are they setting up the systems? Are they accomplishing those steps? Maybe reducing debt, increasing their savings, contributing more to retirement. Those outcome goals are a critical piece to also include in your report. For those of you serving organizations, it's also critical you include organizational goals. The reason this is so important is typically the person that contacts you initially is that feel-good person. They want to bring you in to serve their population and make a real difference in their lives. But oftentimes there's another level of personnel we need to get by, which is the check writer. So we want to make sure we're considering those organizational objectives and showing that organization you're serving that we're making a true impact on their organizational goals. So we measure things like client acquisition costs, media coverage, regulatory and compliance issues, also impressions and other details that are important to them as an organization. Now, with both the learner and organizational goals, it's really important to match these with the length of your program. Once again, if you're doing a 60, 90-minute program, you're not going to be taking all these measures. Make sure you're using the class time for what it's really there for, which is making a difference in their lives, and adding these measures as fit and determined by the length of the program. The first few areas we covered were mainly data and numbers, but it's really important we bring the personal element into financial education. So we also want to include things like programming photos, participant testimonials, and stakeholder feedback. In fact, when we present our reports to potential clients, this is where we're focused. We'll pick out a story or two of an individual in the report. We'll show them the picture and tell them their personal story. Maybe something like, hey, this is Joe. He came in concerned about his wife losing his job and mounting debt. And then this was how he was feeling at week 2 and week 3. And at week 10, this is where he's feeling now. This is the results he's received, and this is where he wants to go in his future. Those are the types of stories we share. Again, it brings that personal nature to what we're teaching, and it highlights the real impact of what we're doing. We also like to include program details into the report, just basic details, materials used, resources used, details on the educator, any of the support staff or volunteers that were involved, and just a brief description of the overall program, the demographics of participants, and any other detail that will help somebody give them a good impression of what you put together. I hope that gave you a good feel for what's in a case study report. Again, I just breezed through a lot of those areas. I want to let you know we provide you complete training on that, on exactly what to use. We provide you all the measurement tools and systems to gather that information and report on that data. We provide you all the report templates, so you just fill in the blank and enter your information into a nicely pre-designed template. For those of you not working with an organization or don't know who to go to for a case study, we provide you a step-by-step model on how to work with them. In fact, it's quite easy too. They're always looking for people to serve their nonprofits. In addition, we provide people to review your case study reports, and they'll provide you feedback. And lastly, we'll fund the promotion of your program. So for those of you completing case studies, you're eligible to receive our promotional funding. I really want to encourage you to complete your case study reports. For us here at the NFEC, and as one of the original founders, I can tell you this was one of the biggest differentiators for our success. Early on, we started to do these after about 2 years in the business. And one of our first clients we did this for, it made such an impression, it went around to all their staff, all their C-level people. It got us deals and opportunities with Penn State University doing their statewide campaign. In addition, it got us a deal with the World Bank, building a program for an entire country. I can say all those stemmed from completing these case study reports, and on a more local level, it helped us really build our credibility and brand here locally as well. I know it can do the same for you, so please complete your case study reports, help progress the financial literacy movement forward by showing that you have proven program results and you're committed to the success of your trainees.